When installing a Digital Life thermostat in a customer's home, the first thing you want to do is complete a thermostat survey, which includes answering the following 3 questions. Am I working with a powered or non-powered thermostat? What type of systems am I working with? Gas, electric, or oil heat? And is it a conventional system or a heat pump? And how many stages of heating and cooling? To answer these questions, you'll need to remove the cover of the thermostat to expose the service terminals. Once you expose the terminals, examine the wiring and observe which wire is connected to which terminal. To answer the first survey question, is it powered or non-powered, you need to look for the R and C terminals. Because there are wires on both, you should have determined that this thermostat is powered. The next thing you need to do is verify the voltage between those 2 terminals. Using a digital multimeter set to AC voltage, take a terminal reading. You should get 24 volts plus or minus 10%, which indicates you have the appropriate voltage to operate the Digital Life thermostat. To answer the second survey question, what type of system are you working with, cannot be done by inspection of the thermostat itself. You would have to do an actual visual inspection of the air handling equipment. If there are no gas or oil lines entering the unit, you can make the assumption you're working with a conventional electric system. To answer the third question on the survey, how many stages of heating and cooling, you need to look again at the terminals on the thermostat. If you have 1 stage of cooling, you will see a wire terminating to the Y terminal. If there are additional stages of cooling, there would be multiple Y terminals. This thermostat shows 1 stage of cooling. To identify the heating terminals, you need to look for the W and W2 terminals. If working with a heat pump, you need to look for an O or B terminal, an A terminal for auxiliary heating, or an E terminal signifying emergency heating. The E terminal is not shown on this thermostat. This thermostat shows 1 stage of heating. Based on the completion of the survey, and because the O and B terminals are currently not being utilized, you know you're working with a conventional air handling system with a powered thermostat with 1 stage of heating and 1 stage of cooling. For purposes of this video, we're going to assume the customer has a gas furnace. Now you can begin the installation of the Digital Life thermostat. First, disconnect the power to the thermostat. Again, using your digital multimeter set to AC voltage, you want to verify the power has been disconnected. Measuring between the R and C terminals, you should have 0 volts when tested, indicating it is safe to proceed with the installation. Please note, failure to kill the power could result in permanent damage to the air handling equipment. Next, remove the thermostat base by clipping the wires. Leave a small segment of each wire on each terminal with approximately 1/4 inch of insulation on the wire. The purpose of this is to help identify which wire terminated to which terminal when installing the new thermostat, and to allow the customer to reinstall the original thermostat correctly should they wish to do so. Once you've freed all the wires, remove the screws securing the thermostat base to the wall. Once you've removed the screws, carefully remove the original thermostat base. It's a good idea to use a small screwdriver or pencil to wrap the original cable around to prevent it from falling back into the wall cavity. Feed the wiring through the thermostat base and mark the mounting locations for the new thermostat. Be sure to use a level to ensure it is aligned properly. Use a drill or screwdriver to create the holes. If working with drywall, use the supplied drywall anchors as shown here. Now, mount the thermostat base and again verify its level. Please note, this base can be used for both heat pump and conventional systems, so you want to use the appropriate terminal designations. Proceed with terminating the wires to the designated terminal strip. Be sure to reference the original thermostat base to determine where each wire originally landed. Remember, wire colors may not always correspond to the terminal color designations, so it's more important to pay attention to the correct terminal wire placement than it is the colors. Double check to ensure you have terminated all wires to the appropriate thermostat terminals. Push all excess wire back into the wall cavity and snap the new thermostat face onto the base. Press firmly until you hear it click into place. Finally, restore power to the unit. If the thermostat has been installed correctly, you should see the date, time, and year on the display, and you can proceed with programming.